go live. Yes. Oh. All right. It's going to take a second to go live here. Here is this microphone. Hi, everybody. Welcome. That doesn't have a card. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Was it letting me go live yet? Yes. Okay. That I have to look under there. So let's pull this back to here. That's Instagram. Wow. Painfully close. On Instagram. Painfully close. On Instagram. Hi, everybody. Tom Caldabiano. Everybody loves Raymond 360 Live. I'm going to start off. I've had quite a morning. I will fill you in. So here. This is a little espresso to start. Here we go. So that's the starter. So welcome, everybody. Hello, Marshfield, Massachusetts. Hello, hi, Mona. Wishing everybody a happy new year, which is coming up very soon, right? When is New Year's Eve? Let me adjust this microphone here. I think that's that one. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I sound good. When is New Year's Eve? Is it Wednesday? Is it Thursday? I don't know. I don't know when New Year's Eve is. Okay. Let me scroll up. Hi, everybody. Let's bring Ohio up. Did Ohio come up? Hi, Paula. I know you're Canada. You're not Ohio. You are not Ohio. So here we go. Dawn, you are in Iowa. Hi, Tom. Just watched a Best of Raymond on MeTV. Awesome. That's awesome. I don't know what that means. Hi, Annabelle. How are you? Smile here. Adjust my not quite New York Mets hat from Taiwan, which my friends are visiting there. I'm hoping they can get me another one in case I lose this one, which is always scary. Annabelle, Wednesday is New Year's Eve. I should know that, but I've been exceptionally busy doing many, many things. Hi, Virginia. Hello. Let me grab my phone here. I love it. I love all of the information here that I'm getting. I should really know where New Year's Eve is, when New Year's Eve is. I hope you guys have plans. My plans are, as usual, do as little as possible on New Year's Eve. That is my plan. And maybe watch some Everybody Loves Raymond things. Raymond TV shows, which are very soothing. Hi, everybody. Aloha, friends from the 808. Bob, you are in the 808. Hi, everyone. Maria from Montana. Hi, Maria from Montana, bringing that up. Hello, Bob. How is the weather there? As you guys know, I'm going to fill you in on I'm a little late today to join. For those that are listening later, I come on live 2 p.m. Hollywood time every Sunday for the past 5 years to talk to everybody about Everybody Loves Raymond. And we haven't spoken since the Everybody Loves Raymond 30-year reunion special part 2, which is interesting to me because I posted that announcement with me, Phil, Eric Pankowski, and Raymond that it was all new material. And then when I just posted the announcement, a lot of people wrote fake news, not real, etc., which is interesting to read. And I wonder when that airs, when part 2 airs, do they look at it and go, I guess Tom was telling the truth, but at least I was able to tell him that he was not. I don't know. Hi, Mona. My plan is to sit at home with my dog and watch Everybody Loves Raymond. Miserable weather here. Going to have an ice storm tomorrow and then a lot of snow coming. So who knows? Yes, a lot of weather around the country. Hi, Anne-Marie from Portland, Maine. How is it in Maine? I can find out with my device, but I don't want to kick off everybody's device. Hi, Karen Kraft. Why are you in Karen Giacalone? Why are you in Austin, Texas today? Did everybody have a good Christmas? I hope so. I was sitting here and I was going to, at my computer, and I was going to post a bunch of Christmas photos, which I have to go through, which I have so many of them, and I have not been posting Christmas photos. And this little fact is interesting. Since last year, we have added 40,000 new followers. That's a full football, American football stadium worth of people who have not been here, are brand new in 2025. So that I realize a lot of the photos you guys have never seen. And so for everybody, there's still a few people, there's still a lot of people who go, who is this guy talking? How dare he? Where is Raymond? So my name is Tom, and I was a writer on Raymond from day one until the last day, but I also was the informal behind-the-scenes photographer and took more photos than any other photographed TV show in the history of television. We published a book using the photos called Our Family Album, Everybody's Raymond, Our Family Album, still available on eBay, Amazon. You can buy them a lot. You can buy them everywhere. I do not make a dime. It's a very good book written by Heather Havrilesky, Phil Rosenthal, Raymond Romano. So I recommend you get it. So that's who I am, and I started going live at the beginning of COVID, and here we are many years later. Hi, Maxine from snowy Rockland County, New York. Love the second special even more. That is very nice of you, Maxine. And you went to Paley exhibit, if I'm not mistaken. You should go to the Stony Brook Museum, the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame, where the set from the special from part 1 and part 2 resides for at least a year. The acronym is Limehoff. I recommend you go there. And you are also Rockland County, the home of the what the Marie sculpture was patterned after. So there you go. Christmas Eve, Feast of the Seven Fishes. Yes, I did see Raymond and Phil Rosenthal on Christmas Eve, and I had a beautiful time. So, Karen, you were in Philly for Christmas and flew home just in time to miss the bad weather. Oh, yes, the East Coast terrible weather. So here in Los Angeles, I will show you a private story, a personal story. Here in Los Angeles, we had a crazy amount of rain, amount of rain. And for those of you that live in Los Angeles, you know, we have no rain, and then we have torrential rain, and then you have mudslides. So this morning, as I was starting to tell the story, I was sitting at my computer with all of my Raymond photos at my fingertips. 30,000 photos. Some of them are in books, actually, but for the most part, I have them. And I looked out my window and I heard noises, and I said, that's weird. Perhaps the animals in my basement are active, not my pets, but the rodents and various critters that crawl around in the Hollywood Hills. And I said, oh, no, it's the wind. It is the wind. Because the trees that I look out of my window are moving. And then it was a mudslide that I witnessed. So my neighbor's yard ended up in my yard. My neighbor's yard came sliding down into my yard, and so for the past 4 hours, that's what I've been dealing with, which is why I'm late to join. For those of you that are listening post-live, it doesn't make a difference, but for you guys who waited, I do appreciate it. Okay, so bringing up all these comments here, because why not? It's the end of the year. I'm very nostalgic about the 40,000 new people and the 30,000 people who were with us before. Annabelle Swanson, I hope you don't either. Oh, weather. Okay, we're talking weather. Now, yes, freezing rain. For those of you that don't know, for those of you, let's say, who live in Texas or never experienced weather, freezing rain is the worst because power lines come down. You can't drive. There's zero joy in freezing rain. It is terrible. Hi, Deb Tucker Frank. Do you know how the process worked for hiring good writers on a sitcom? Thanks, Deb. Yes, the hiring process. Good writers, that's always the challenge. Let me answer that question because today, I don't have the canister here, but I do have a treat that was sent to me by Donnell, and I will try these. Luxury mince pies, Glenfiddich. I think you say Glenfiddich, but if you're from New Jersey, you say Glenfiddich, etc. So let's talk about, really quickly, the way you hire a writer is there's a showrunner, Phil Rosenthal in this case, and he takes submissions. So people write spec scripts, they're called. A spec on spec, meaning let's say whatever the hit show is back then, MASH, you write a MASH episode that doesn't air, but you have written it, and the showrunner reads that spec script. And the reason it's a spec script, it's for a show that exists. So the showrunner knows the characters and goes, oh, I could see this being an episode of this show that they wrote it for. So when Ever's Raymond was a hit, people wrote spec. Everybody loves Raymond scripts. So the showrunner meets all these writers, reads their sample script, let's put it that way, and they decide there. They also, you have to sit in a room with somebody for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. So who can you sit in a room with for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours? That's a big measure also. So you're gauging, how is that person's personality? Are they going to say, Phil, I don't think you know comedy. You should let me do everything. Or are they going to be like, okay, I have a point to bring up. How do they handle themselves with people? It's very important because you sit in that room for a long time. We calculated it in the writer's room on Raymond. If you were there from the beginning to the end, it was equivalent to sitting down in homeroom in kindergarten. And you look to the person to your left and you go, I'm sitting next to you until we graduate high school. I'm sitting next to you every single class of every day. That's what it was like in the writer's room. So that's how it happens. You read spec scripts, you interview the person, every agent, everybody in the world. You become very popular when you become the showrunner of a new show. Everybody's like, Phil, I think you are the greatest person I've ever met. And I think you should really look at my spec script. So that's how it works. I'm worked up a thirst on that one. Excellent question, Deb. Let's see, what do we have? Should I do this? I think this is a Christmas color, but here we go. How is our focus today? Oh, yes. Our focus is great. AIS, everybody. I was not at the exact time. I am drinking. I didn't bring it with me. Oh, yes, I did. I might have had this last time. It is a favorite. There we go. Twinings English breakfast tea. No milk this morning because I ran out of time to milk the cow. All right. How am I sounding, everybody? Get a lot of sound. I'm very sensitive to sound. Let's see. Let's check my texts. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Mugs. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Let me see this message. This is from a news reporter to talk about the mudslide, which is not really newsworthy because it's not that big of a mudslide. That happened, but nonetheless. All right, let me turn this up a little, and I'm going to goose this, as they say. As they say in the business. Okay, so let me look at Instagram. Where did Instagram go? Here's Instagram. Okay, let me catch up. Holy moly. That's a lot of comments. Let's talk about, I want to talk about Patty. I want to talk about Doris's greed party. Oh, let me try and, Instagram is so close. Oh my gosh, it's just my head on Instagram. Very troubling for some of you. Okay, but I'm running out of real estate. If I go too far, I will fall off of a platform. Hi, everybody. Hi, Tom. Hi. Hello, Tom from the ELR family. Let me go way down and catch up. Where can we watch the second episode? You can watch it on Paramount Plus. Was there a New Year's episode? No, there was not. I got an AIS mug. Tony, fantastic. The AIS mug for Christmas. Fantastic. That is a fantastic gift. You can download it to your phone. Okay. Thank you. Now, see, these where I read stuff out of order and I go backwards. Hello, Diane. Mince pies, interesting. Mince pies, an interesting comment. Why is that interesting? So most Americans they know the name mince pie, but they have no clue what a mince pie is. Hi, Tom. Do you know offhand if CBS will rerun the second ELR reunion? That is an excellent question, and I don't know the answer because that would be great. And if it falls in line with the part one, they should renew it, right? They should replay it for those of us who can't afford Paramount Plus. Okay. Marathon. Yes, having a Raymond marathon. Meredith, you're going to the Stony Brook Museum next weekend. You can't wait. So Stony Brook Museum is about an hour outside of Manhattan, east of Manhattan. If you're a Raymond fan, you must go. It's there for a year. It might be there for longer. It is the most Raymond experience you can have in your life. You couldn't have this experience when the show was on the air unless you were on the show. You are going to be sitting in the set that was used in the 30-year reunion, which was phenomenal hit. It was amazing. That set. So good. Congratulations. Peeling potatoes. Hi, the lady awaits. I'm peeling potatoes over the holidays. All I could hear was Marie. I'll just correct a few of these potatoes for you. Bless you, Doris Roberts. Yes, an excellent, excellent quote. Hi, Lynbrook, New York, where the Raymond show was based in theory, in writing. Hi, Pin, Gin, and Lipstick. Pink Gin. That's weird. I really goofed that. Pink Gin and Lipstick. Hubby and I watch ELR every day eating dinner. It's our comfort program. Yeah. So that seems to be the consensus. When I just was talking to the people whose yard slid into my yard, I've never met them before, and another neighbor said, "Oh, Tom wrote on Brothers Raymond," and they said, "Oh my God, that's our favorite show. It's such a good show," and it reminded me of the car episode, the wallpaper episode where the car came crashing through, and it's like, who's going to pay for this? And Frank was very adamant. I liked Frank. Hi, Leo in Toronto. Tom, I think I asked this question, but any chance of an ELR reunion photo book like the first one done? So, Leo, the photo book we finished up to halfway through season 8. And when people go, why, how lazy do you have to be not to finish the entire book? It wasn't laziness, but there was a deadline for the book to get it out before the show ended, and Phil and Ray thought they were going to end at season 8, but we went through season 9, so we had to send all of my negatives to China to make the book. So my dream is to complete the book, finish season 8 and season 9, half of season 8, half of season 9. A book for the reunion, I have, as I've said, 5,000 photos. Oh, I just found a really cool video. I'll post it for you guys from the reunion of the Monitor. I'm talking to Ray, I'm talking to Brad and Patty, taking pictures of them, and I get up to leave because they're about to roll again. And Monica stops and gives me a big hug, and then I move out of frame. But I think you guys would like to see that video. It's a very cool video to see. So Leo, getting back to the quote-unquote book of the reunion, I don't know. Because one of the things, a book costs a lot of money to make, and most people are on something called their phone. So this, sadly, takes very much the place of books. Now, having said that, the Everly Raymond Our Family Album book, do I have one laying here? What do I have? I have a lot of stuff. What is this? These are photos. These are proof sheets. Proof sheets of the show. Let's see, what is this? Just a Formality. This is live, folks. I didn't. Just a Formality is a proof sheet. So I'm going to show you this. This is how one of my proof sheets looks. Okay, let me do this. So the book. First of all, I have to handle all these negatives. That is Just a Formality. Let me get right up on the mic there. Just a Formality. It's number 159, suffix J, which means there's all the alphabet letters before then of the photos. And so you go, Tom, what is on this one? Who is on it? And I go, okay, let me see. So pull it out of its protective sleeve. That's what's on it, folks. That is the top, okay? Fred Willard, Mike Royce, Tom Caltabiano, Mike Royce, Roy Rosegarden, Chris Elliott, Raymond's brother Richard, the policeman, Mike Royce getting the curtain call, and you're seeing this live for me. I don't know what's in there. People that worked on the show and people that visited the show. Now I lose my view. Raymond, Brad Garrett, and somebody else. So there you go. Brad Garrett and Richard Romano, the policeman. Brad Garrett, Richard Romano, the policeman. Brad Garrett, Richard Romano's daughter. And see, it's going to be a shame if I'm no longer around to quickly identify everybody in these photos. So there you go. That is one proof sheet, one of hundreds and hundreds of proof sheets. Fred Willard looking very healthy there with Mike Royce, writer of Just So You Know, Tissues episode, and many, many other great episodes. All right, so here we go. Let's go back to this. Let me get back to questions. Because, we have our new studio. Eric Pinkowski was the first one in the new studio, and that's where we're doing the official podcast. And this is where I go live to answer all of your questions. Okay, let me put this aside. Put that aside. Okay, yes, I don't have the book handy. Let's scroll down. I like that all of you guys are catching up, but let me see. Oh, my goodness, so many questions. So many questions. I had 3. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Let me go back up. So I don't miss the dialogue. So I'm scrolling on this one. Can I move back? So close. So close to the camera, but then I'm far from the computer. Pull my mic here. Okay. Catching up on Instagram. Hello, Tom. You're an extreme close-up. Yeah, I find it off-putting to be so. Thank God I don't have, you can't see all of my plastic surgery. Do you have the mince pies or purchase them? Do you make the mince pies or purchase them? I saw a box from Walker's. Are they any good? MFCNITS. That means you knit. I'm guessing that is what I'm guessing. CBS. Wow. CBS app is free. Freudian slip there is free, and you can watch the ELR reunion again. Meredith, thank you for that information. You can buy some or make them. I made some and added cherry brandy to the mix. Leslie, I like the sound of that. Hi, Becca. We can recite lines verbatim at this point. Okay, we'll find out if so mincemeat is not known to Americans for the most part. I'm very curious. Tony, I wish Gerard, Fred Stoller, was in the reunion special. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. So he was there. Peggy was there. Amy Aquino was there. Hello, Suzanne in Cleveland. Who did I meet? Somebody from Cleveland recently. So, you guys are really, really super fans. And so as Eric, the executive producer of the special, was saying, he's got a limited budget and limited time. So everybody that we possibly could interview, he interviewed, or at least he tried to interview. And so there was a cutoff point, like the fly lady, the lady who ate the flies was in one episode. I don't know her. I know Tina Arning, who played Angelina. I don't know why she didn't make it. I know Alex Meneses, and obviously she made it, but she was not in the first part, but she was in the second part. So there's just a lot of decisions to be made, and it just bodes well because you guys are such big fans. But CBS, so if you guys had your druthers, we'd have a 3-hour special, 4-hour special, because you love the show so much. For Eric as a producer, he's like, okay, I have to deliver 22 minutes to the second or 44 minutes to the second. So once I start interviewing Peggy, the cookie lady, Amy Aquino, who's phenomenal, who I am friends with, then I don't have room for this. So it's this constant weighing, etc. So I know Fred Stoller, hysterically funny. I'll have him back on here if he's willing anytime. So all of those people we wanted to hear from. John Manfrotati, we heard nothing from him in the first episode. You didn't know if he was interviewed, but then in part 2, you saw him being interviewed, which was great. Okay, let's go back to Facebook comments. And again, we're neglecting Toronto. Lynn from Toronto, hi. Lynn Ravigna, I know I've had trouble with this name. It's funny because when I visit Italy, my name, Caltabiano, they just say, you call for a reservation and they're like, Caltabiano. And here in this country, sometimes the operators, boy, do they struggle. So Lynn, I'm apologizing to you in advance. Okay, let me scroll back up here. Tom Caltabiano here. Everybody loves Raymond 360. We're going to try these, which Donnell sent to me. I will post the address for Ever's Raymond 360. It is a UPS address where all of when the forks and spoon magnets go out, they go out from there, from that address. And if you guys want to send anything, which I'm not saying you have to in any way, but for those of you who have asked, I will post that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Donnell, since we're talking about it, there are 2 kinds of mincemeat. The sweet kind is fruits and spices. think of the inside of a fig Newton and a bit of citrus added. So Donnell, this is one of those. This is that type, right? Because I will say this, I was at someone's house yesterday. Yesterday? Seems like years ago. And they said, try these potato chips. They're blue cheese potato chips. I love blue cheese. These were, I'm not saying they're the worst thing I've ever tasted, but they were up there. Like if you said, hey, do you know the worst flavor you've ever tasted? I go, oh, I do remember a blue cheese potato chip that it just didn't taste good. Whatever the flavor was, good was not the first word that I would think of in that thing. Let me see. Wow, a lot of side singing. Were there any guest stars a casting director particularly pursued for a long time before finally getting them on the show? I don't know. I'm going to have Lisa Miller Katz on there. Like, I don't remember hearing that. What happens is Lisa Miller Katz would come into the writer's room to talk to Phil and go, Phil, we're going to go out to this person. That's the phrase. We're going out to this person to see if they want to be on the show. Now, when you have a giant hit show, there's almost nobody that says no to a giant hit show. So it was usually how much money do they want? How much money do they want to be on the show? That's the big thing. It's sadly, it does come down to money for a lot. I do know that Raymond has taken lower pay to be on certain things, and I think it's a very, very smart move. Hi, Linda. Hi, Fly Lady. Linda, I had 3 ELR ornaments on my tree this year. Jazz Records, we love it. The Sled and Frank in the Santa Hat. And which one is your favorite? All of those. The Sled, Peter Boyle wearing the Santa hat, which is one of my favorite photos, or the Jazz Records, which that was a very creative one. Okay, let's see this. Okay, Annabelle. My grandma, for those of you that are like, Tom, we can read, but some people aren't seeing it. My grandma made what she called mincemeat pies, and my uncle and uncle told me they were made with strange meats, so I refused to try them. I'm still not interested. Too many pies I know. I love to add yet another anyway. I kind of have a similar, because I always think of mincemeat as a meat pie. I think the word meat is what throws us on that. Okay. Let me see this. Hi. My husband's aunt made mince pie. I had a friend, she was French. Her father used to make dozens of them every single year and give them as gifts. So Donnell, let's go back to you. Are the mince pies mostly, it doesn't say mince meat. I see. Is it normally that? Is it normally on the sweeter side? I don't know. How did the casting director manage the challenge of finding young child actors like Sullivan Sweeten twins who could handle the demands of live taping? Were the educators there for their schooling so they wouldn't get behind their studies? Yes. So it's the same way you cast a regular person. You don't know. They could be terrible, and you hope. Very few people, once they're hired, get fired, but that does happen. That did happen on Raymond. A couple actors didn't do a good job at the table read, and they were replaced. And then, yes, the educators are there. There's a schoolroom on the set. It's not like the kids aren't in the episode. They're not there that week, etc. So, yeah, it's very strict rules when you work with children. They do not leave anything to chance. Hi, Robert in Thunder Bay. So where is Thunder Bay? Now, you always have to assume, and this is a lot in conversation when we're doing this here, when I say, hey, don't get too inside baseball for guests. When they're like, yeah, because we shot at Sony and it's so much easier than going to Fox. I'm like, nobody even knows what you're talking about. So let's go back. So is Thunder Bay, I'm guessing, is in Canada, right? I'm using my limited geographical knowledge about Canada to say it is in Canada. So welcome from Thunder Bay. What a great, great name. So let me see. Yes, ketchup chips, though that's an acquired taste. Since I can't get it on a thumb drive, okay, I'm going to put it, okay, a crossword puzzle, yes. I think you can send it a crossword puzzle. Mincemeat tastes like Fig Newtons. I'm in. Yeah. So I will taste this shortly. So let's talk a little bit about, because it's going to get out of the season. The Doris Roberts Greed Party. I will post pictures every single year. Doris had a Christmas party. Let me take a breath. Let me take a breath and have a little more tea. Okay. Who's the nutcase now? One of my favorites. I'm going to see how far back can I go? How far back can I go before I fall off of this raised platform? In the studio. We're about to find out. Okay. Let me see. Catching up on this. Mincemeat was originally actually meat hundreds of years ago. Is that Gil helping me out here? Okay, here we go, Gil. Mincemeat was actually meat hundreds of years ago. Now it's sweetened dried fruits. Okay, so now I am confused. Is it ever meat anymore? Is a mincemeat? So for those of you that missed the beginning, Donnell was nice enough to send me these, which I risked my life getting, 6 luxury mince pies, which I will taste on the air. So one of the problems with rating sweets is, last week I had Scott's chocolate covered pretzels with caramel. Let me see if I have a picture of one of them. I think I do. I can hold it up to the camera. Yeah, here we go. Just tilt that. Let's unplug that. So here's one of Scott's chocolate covered with caramel, and I guess the white is white chocolate that he and his wife make. That was phenomenal. That was unbelievable. Let me see. Is somebody else? Yeah. And here's what it looks like when someone devours it. There you go. That is the inside of it, what it looks like when someone devours it. So it's hard because mincemeat is not going to compete with chocolate with caramel. So I have to do a sliding scale in my head. I'm expecting mincemeat. I'm expecting dried fruit. I'm not expecting a blast of chocolate. So, Donnell, no, it's never meat anymore, but sometimes meat fats like lard are in it. Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes people confuse the name with sweetmeats, which is strange meats. Okay, I see a seminar, a week-long seminar, Donnell, with you and I just figuring out and trying to straighten out what it is exactly. Okay, let me see. Made it with meats. Marie, I always have 2 mugs. I usually have cappuccino, but my cappuccino making friend is not here. So I'm drinking tea out of 2 mugs because, again, when you're talking all alone, you're talking for the whole time. Okay. So Doris Roberts would have a greed party. She called it, some people call it a white elephant thing. I don't know what else people call it, but every Christmas time we would go to Doris Roberts' house. I will post pictures of this, and we would have a phenomenal time of Ray, the cast, the writers, and it was just a boisterous, joyful time because I think we were done filming maybe for the year, but it was just, you know how you have good periods in your life and bad periods in your life and only good memories? Those parties were just the best of memories, the best of times. And so I will post some pictures. I don't think, so because we figured it out one other time on my phone. I think I have, okay, so there it is. I'll show it to you guys. Hold on. Just so you know the magnitude. This is kind of like when people go, "Hey, Tom, I sent you a message." I probably get between comments and likes and messages probably 1,000 a day, I would say. So if you're like, "I can't believe he's sitting there staring at his phone and not getting back to me." Okay, that's the number of photos I have on my phone currently. 322,000 photos, okay? So what happens, you can search them. I've shown this before. On an iPhone, I can search Doris Roberts Greed Party, but half of the time my phone says it's indexing. It's indexing, which means you're not going to be able to find it. We're definitely not going to make it easy for you to find that Greed Party photos. So I will post them. But what would happen is Doris would have a catered meal. You would go in beautiful house in the Hollywood Hills, and James Dean apparently lived there at one time, and you would go there and you would have your catered meal. A little more tea. I'm losing my voice already. I've been talking a lot today before this. You have the meal, and then you sit down. You go into the bar, her bar area, which was exquisite. If you think of an old bar, maybe in Scotland or somewhere, where you would find a mince pie, it was filled with artifacts and just so homey and fantastic. I will post pictures. Don't worry, folks. I will post pictures. You would be there, and then you would go into the living room for the party, the gift exchange. For those who don't know, have never had it, who live on an island, or don't celebrate anything with joy, there's a whole bunch of gifts with numbers, and you pick a number and take a gift, and the next person can take your gift or take one from the pile, and anybody can take your gift at any point during the show for when their turn comes. So that's the Greed Party, and to watch a bunch of comedy writers in a room arguing over a lawn ornament that nobody would in their right mind pay to have, it's quite a sight. It's quite a sight and quite an evening. So that happened every single year that the show was on the air, I guess beginning maybe season 3 or something like that. And that was, I'm scrolling through photos as I look. Oh, here's a Christmas photo that I'll have to post also that I didn't get a chance to post. There we go. A photo I took, You can usually tell the episodes by the Christmas. All right, let's talk. So the Greed Party, a delightful, fun, amazing, candid time with Doris. I'm scrolling through. I don't see that to show it to you right now. And how many photos do I have? I have 926 photos of Doris on my phone. There's Doris and Phil Rosenthal with a little bit of cake very early on. In the series. That might be season 2 or 3, something like that. I love Doris. Missing her looking at these photos. Fantastic photos. All right, so the Greed Party happened. Phenomenal time. Sad when the show ended. That was our last Greed Party. I will post pictures of it. You would hear a lot of people screaming during the party, etc. So, and some years, almost all the time, the entire cast would come, but some years I think Brad missed a couple of years because, when you have kids, your priorities can slightly change. Okay, let's go to some questions before we taste some mincemeat and keep going here. Yes, scrolling down to there. Tom Caltabiano here. Hi, Robert. The quotes mug reminds me every morning I kiss my 12-year-old daughter goodbye. She heads to school, but she looks at me until I say, Habanada. She won't leave until I do. I also called her Bubbala. Andy Kindler sings. She was a baby because of Raymond. Oh, that's sweet. That is a very sweet story, Robert Lamb. That is very sweet. Habanada, of course, from How They Met. The season 3 final episode or season 4 of How They Met, something like that. Dirty Santa. Okay, Kim, it's called Dirty Santa. Okay. Annabelle. I saw Limehoff, the Long Island Museum of Entertainment and Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame is looking for volunteers who love ELR and or Billy Joel to talk to visitors and help answer questions about the exhibit. It's only a 2-hour drive ferry, so I might just have to go for it. 2-hour ferry trip. Annabelle, that is a very, very dedicated fan. You would kill it there. You'd also be the most qualified, I might add, of the volunteers because you could say, yes, that's the canister that I held on the set during the show. Yes, so if anyone lives in Long Island and wants to volunteer, that would be like it. Hello, Gil. Lots of people don't like mince pies and Christmas pudding in the UK. Many do. Christmas pudding can be very heavy going. I've never had Christmas pudding. What is in Christmas pudding? It's amazing the amount of food and the amount of ignorance that I have, and yet incredible world knowledge of food at the same time. I don't know how to get that much storage space in order to save that many photos. I only have around 3,000. Yes. Well, Kim, you are what's called normal. I hear you say, just so you know, a lot. Did that great phrase come from you? No, that great phrase, just so you know, is Mike Royce would hear it from his wife, which is like, hey, this happened, just so you know, you're not going to participate on this decision, just so you know, and Mike can explain. Hopefully Mike will be on again. It was kind of like a little bit of an afterthought that this happened, but I'm just letting you know that it happened. So, and you have no say over it. So yes, I would like to take credit, but that is Mike Royce. My husband's family call it Yankee swap. Yep. I guess my friend Yankee swap. At first, I thought they said Yankee swamp. I had no idea what to expect. Yes. And do you guys have fun doing it? On the series, how often did the bloopers last? Broke acting. Deb, you have excellent grammar. On the series, how often did the bloopers last? In parentheses, broke acting until they got back into the being serious on set. So the bloopers. So the bloopers are a big highlight of the special, part 1 and part 2. People really love to see those bloopers, and people just really love the show, so they were welcome. They were welcomed by the fans. So what happens is when you're filming a show, just to get back into the, not minced meat, but the meat and potatoes of making a show, the show is filmed in front of a live audience. It takes about 4 hours to film it. The money, what am I saying? The meter is going. The meter is turning. What is it called, though? I'm not getting the phrase correct. Every minute is money on the set of the show. So when somebody makes a mistake, a blooper, they feel generally bad. So even though it's really, really fun to watch, they sit there and they go, okay, there's a camera crew watching, the director's watching, the writer's watching, Phil Rosenthal's watching. Everybody laughed. That's great. But in the meantime, if we keep fooling around like this, we are going to be so far behind schedule that we're not going to go 2 hours. We're going to go 5 hours. And then Phil is going to go, it felt like we had a good show. It went 5 hours long. The audience got tired. The actors got tired. This is going to be a very bad episode because you, Patricia Heaton, decided you couldn't get through your line. So that's also, I'm summarizing it, but that's kind of in the actors' heads, everybody's heads. So it's funny to watch, but there's a lot of pressure to get the lines right and keep going. So very, very seldom would they get into a laughing fit where they couldn't keep going. And I think Patty probably broke the most. Brad would laugh. I think Doris Roberts almost never. Doris Roberts was a machine, an acting machine. There's only a few times when you see her laughing in one of the outtakes. So yeah, so that's the short answer, Deb. There's a lot of pressure to not goof around, and not that they're goofing around, but the biggest problem is when they have a laughing fit and they can't get through the thing. Excellent question, no. Okay, a lot of talk about food. Wow, I keep trying to back up. Let me see. How far can I go before you guys, I actually disappear from the frame, which means I fell off my chair platform. Gil, I love sticky toffee pudding, and I love what my mom's friend from Scotland used to make. It was kind of a red pudding, and then on the side, she would serve custard. Interesting. I don't think, have I had sticky pudding? Maybe. Did Doris provide the gifts, or did everyone bring a gift? So excellent question. So the instructions were bring a gift that can't be of limited value. So Doris said bring a value, whatever it was, $40. Not too much. So if somebody brought a $200 bottle of scotch, all of a sudden that's the gift that everyone wants. Or if you don't drink, you don't want it. But the idea was for everybody to bring a gift and it not be too good, and sometimes gag gifts, but sometimes people really did want those gifts. Bob Silva, mince pie and Christmas fruitcake, 2 controversial choices. Yeah, so it sounds like it is. So the Fruitcake Johnny Carson used to make fun of that all the time. So yes, um, I guess that you are correct. The fruit pie. I'm just trying to think. I'm reading through other comments. Hi, Susan Stampanato. Happy New Year. You don't want to forget to say that. That is very nice of you. Drinking some delicious tea. Yes. I love all of this. Here we go. Yes, Happy New Year. I'm looking over my glasses. It's weird. I have a personalized photo by Doris Roberts she sent me when I had my 50th birthday Oscar party, unless it was signed by her personal assistant. I think she probably signed it because they crank out a lot of signatures. They do. All right, let's look at Instagram again. Let's see what I missed. Hi, Leo. Why was there no episode, New Year's episode? All other holidays were covered. Well, no 4th of July for us in the United States. So basically, Leo, the short of it is nobody thought of a good New Year's Eve episode. That's why. No other reason. And also, so for TV, Eric was explaining that about sweeps weeks and et cetera. So on TV, this week is kind of a dead week. So I'd be surprised if CBS doesn't re-air the Edward Raymond reunion. They really should. So I think there's no motivation by the network to have a New Year's Eve show because this is kind of a dead week. Everybody's busy, even though you might be like, okay, Christmas shopping is done. I have time on Monday night to do whatever I want versus the hectic time before the holidays. It's kind of a little bit of a breather. So, but that's why if somebody said, hey, Phil, I have a great New Year's Eve story, like, could The Shower have been a New Year's Eve story? Probably. The Shower episode where Deborah goes to jail? Absolutely. But excellent question, Leo. Okay, let me see. Well, would the show have aired over New Year's? No. It depended if it was a Monday night, but yes, it would. It's kind of what I said. That's a very good question. Let me see. Going back. Trying to catch up on so many things. Hi, Tom. Would you decide which dining room table is used for episodes? I've noticed both rectangular and circular. Did props department base this off of how many people would be seated at the table? Yeah. So. That's a lot of controversy. People are like, where does this table come from? Is that set? That's set dressing, I think, for the table. That's not the props department. And it was really how many people were seated at the table. So they all had the same dining room table throughout the series, and they would try and make do and have the table sit in the middle of the living room. That's the short answer of it is. But also for camera, you would have to make sure, okay, if they're like when the lady ate the fly, it was like, okay, that has to be in their living room. And, I know a lot of people have problems with it, but I know people with a lot of money, let's call them rich friends of mine, who have sometimes a giant gathering and they don't have the capacity. So they set up portable tables in another area of their house, etc. Okay. Hi, Austin. What did you think of the episode of The Middle where Ray Romano showed up? Ray was Mike's weird friend from high school in season 3, episode 1. Yeah. Austin, I did not see that episode. I was at the episode, and I think I took photos of the episode. So I was at the filming of the episode, but I actually didn't see the final one, so I can't really comment on that. Ellen, I missed a question here, so let me see. Bernie, why weren't Bernie and Linda on the reunion show? Linda, let me see. Linda, Maggie Wheeler's mother died, and so that was, I think, the funeral service was the same weekend, something like that. Her mother definitely died, and it was some timing like that, and Tom McGowan, I don't know if he was on Broadway or otherwise. There's a reason. Like everybody, they wanted everybody to go, but there were legitimate reasons. So there you go. That's the reason why. Highland Van Orden, yes, Happy New Year to all and to Tom. I will take it. I would love to send you some of my chocolate-covered cashew brittle to see what grade you would give it if you tried it. I make it every year as a gift for the holidays. It's always a huge hit and described as crack. People can't stop eating it. It would be so much fun to see if you like it. Yes, I probably would like it. Okay, I'm going to have to post the shipping address. And again, folks, you do not have to send me anything. We should try the mince pie that Donnell sent my way. If you want to know about British Christmas pudding, hi, Gil, there's a lot of information on Google. I've heard of Google. It's a mixture of dried fruits and alcohol, but it's dense and usually eaten after Christmas Day dinner. Some people prefer trifle. Trifle is that big dessert, right? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, William Emmerich, with the hard CH sound. Good to see you on here. I make a good fruit cake that isn't dry because no alcohol. Okay. I will have to make I made bread. Before the mudslides, I made some bread. Annabelle, if you sent me some chocolate-covered cashew brittle. Oh, so Annabelle, are you trying to get the chocolate-covered cashews? They head my way and get diverted to you. That seems selfish and completely understandable. Were they bringing back would they bring back everybody with kids all grown up? Hi, Peter. Would they try and bring back the show? I don't know. I do not know. So Gil, let me ask you this. I did record both parts of the reunion special to watch over again. So how did you watch it, Gil, in the UK? And have all my UK friends been able to see it? Okay, so I'm just curious about that. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Tom. Kathy here from Philadelphia. The episode PT&A, Deborah wore that skimpy outfit. Did that really happen? Thank you, Tom. So, excellent question, Kathleen. That was an episode that I wrote, and even though people would accuse me of wanting to see Patricia Heaton in a skimpy outfit, that was actually Phil Rosenthal's idea to have her come down dressed as a hooker. I forget what we said in that. So it didn't happen in real life. What really happened is I was talking about, giving notes, making comments about what your girlfriend would wear or whatever. And all the married men were like, oh my gosh, you could never say that no, not for a married person. You don't comment about their attire. So I said, oh, why is that? And then they explained how life works. I said, okay. And then Phil said, what if he sent me I forget if he sent me an email or whatever. And he said, what if Deborah comes down dressed like a hooker? And Phil was great at, I think the bird episode, he came up with the idea of Pat killing the bird. I know that's horrific to you guys. It's a fake bird. No birds were injured in that thing. And then even the sculpture episode, that was a Jennifer Crittenden story, but Phil's like, we need a giant sculpture in that living room. And that's when he called his parents to say, hey, take a picture of the sculpture in front of the Rockland County Courthouse. So yes, I'd like to say that happened, but that is a bold move. Excellent question. Never been asked before. Okay, let's go. Let's keep scrolling. Let me have a few things. Hi, Linda. Your favorite ornament is the sled. Was the most impressively made, but I love to have but I have two with Frank as my favorite. That picture of Santa hat is wonderful to remember him. Yes, I agree. How involved was David Letterman, whose Worldwide Pants company produced the show, in the creative process? Zero involvement. Eternally grateful to David Letterman, zero involvement in the creativity. And that's one of the things that he said to Eric was he's almost embarrassed to take any positive feedback about the show because he had zero involvement. But without David Letterman, no, everybody loves Raymond. There were so many poignant moments. Hi, Robert. again. There were so many poignant moments on the show that carried a lot of emotional weight and yet pulled back on pursuing them. I think an episode with Lucky Suit or Robert's Rodeo, is it because it veers away from the comedy? Meaning, why didn't they go even deeper emotionally? So that's an excellent question, Robert. So the Lucky Suit happened in real life to somebody. Tucker Cawley's father's law firm had that letter written by a wife. But Phil and Tucker, it was like, okay, let's make it not just about a lucky suit and this stupid thing. Let's make it emotionally about Marie not wanting her son to potentially die again by joining the force. So that's when it took on emotional depth. And it gets right to the point where you go, okay, on a very special episode as Raymond, it's still a comedy. So you still bought into Doris Marie holding back her tears. You see her emotions as a mother. And so if you go there's a point where you go too far and you're like, am I watching a comedy or not? So that show walked the line really, really well. Okay, let me see. Hi, Linda. We love the show. My mom told us we had to watch it. It was so good. I should have listened to my mom sooner. Yes, always listen to your mother. What real life experiences were eating a fly and getting gored by a bull episode based on? Eating a fly was the whole story, other than the actual eating a fly, was based on a real life thing that happened to Ray Romano's brother, Richard, who had a woman. He went back to her apartment. She had snakes in her house and in her tub and everything. And he went out of the window, the fire escape window, even though he was a policeman. So that's real. And then the bull was based on a news report that happened about a illegal rodeo that took place in Queens, New York. So there you go. Let me see here. Let me scroll on. I got a taste. We're going to run out of time. I just watched. Hi, Ellen. I'm trying to move back so I don't have such an extreme close-up. But what are you going to do? I just watched the ELR's first 6 years. Mary Tyler Moore, Bob Newhart, and other stars commented on the show. I'd love to know what else Mary Tyler Moore and Bob Newhart did stories about who met her and Bob Newhart. Okay, so Ellen, you're asking. So that was a produced show. So I think Tony DeSena officially wrote it and Ken Shapiro directed it. So they interviewed those stars as far as I know. So you would like to see more of the raw footage of them being interviewed, because Ron Howard is on it as well with his brother, etc. And then they wanted, now this is controversial, you guys are fans. And for the 6-year special, they interviewed fans, normal people like me and you. And a lot of people, when they watch it later, they go, who is this person? Should we know them? And just like with the first part of the reunion show or the second part, they go, why are they letting the fans ask the questions? Or people go, isn't this awesome that the fans get to ask questions of the star? Let me know what you guys think about that. Should the fans be on camera? Should you be listening to the fans? Because you are them. Or something like that. All right, let's taste the mincemeat. Let me see if I missed anything here. Just watched Jealous Roberts. Curious how many takes, bloopers there are after Deborah elbows Ray in the pills, so to speak. That one, I wrote that episode with Ray Romano, Jealous Robert. There weren't really many outtakes for that moment. Ray did brilliant physical comedy by falling down. For those that haven't seen it yet, Ray's about to spill the beans that Deborah and Marie are in cahoots, and Deborah elbows him right in the Garden of Good and Evil, and Ray's take is phenomenal of him falling down. So there weren't really a lot of, what do I want to say? There weren't really a lot of laughter in that moment. You know, if you watch Patty, she really has to keep a composure, because Ray really, as they say, made the most out of that. Ellen, I was interested in more comments that the stars said, especially Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah, so Ellen, excellent point. I think the beauty of the internet, just like now, is that you would love to see all of that footage of Mary Tyler Moore speaking, as would I. I don't know where that footage is. So just like you saw with the reunion special that aired, there's only so much time you can show on network television where all the ratings matter. But thanks to the internet, you guys are watching me talking about the show. This is year 5 of me talking about the show. How much can you talk about Elvis Raymond? Well, 5 years so far. The internet supports that much in-depth. So if you could get if I could find the raw footage of Mary Tyler Moore talking about Elvis Raymond, it would be fascinating. Just like if you look back, you're like, I wouldn't mind hearing Clark Gable talk about Gone with the Wind. For how long? I don't know. An hour, 2 hours? It would be fascinating. So yeah, I'd be very curious to know where that footage is, etc. And again, for those of you that are old enough, in the 1970s, there was the primetime TV shows, and that was it. There was no, hey, I'm going to watch, a guy talk about fishing for an hour, which you can support with the internet. So excellent point, Ellen. I'll see if I can ask around. Yes, Raymond was wearing a cup. Sorry, I'm reading a whole bunch of Tom, how involved were the writers or creators, Phil and Ray, in the final decision making the casting of main characters? The writers had zero involvement because there were no writers yet before the show was cast. Phil and Ray made the decisions, but the network also made the decisions. So the network said, Peter Boyle's available. Guess who the father's going to be? Peter Boyle. So Phil didn't go, I don't like Peter Boyle. Phil loved Peter Boyle. Everybody loved Peter Boyle. So the casting decision is the showrunner, who at that point doesn't have much power per se. He has an opinion, but the network holds all the power. CBS president held all the power. So the CBS president was able to say, I'm not casting that person, or they are. All right, let's try these mince. Here we go. Mince pies. 6 luxury. This is really sealed. I have to open this. It's sealed. Open my trusty. Let me move back from the camera for the Instagram people so that you don't get shocked. Oh, maybe I don't. Can I just pull this open? Let me see. Hold on. Bear with me, everybody, as I open for the first time in my life a mince pie. I think, at least a Glenfiddich. Is that how you say it, Donnell? Glenfiddich. It's almost like William Emmerich. A hard CH. So for those of you who are new, I am Tom Caldabiano, and we had a writer on Elvis Raymond named Jeremy Stevens, who's sadly no longer with us, but he was obsessed with sweets, and he made us a bet about the Oreo cookie is not as good as the Hydrox, so we had a taste test, and this is in his honor that I start doing this. Okay, so I'm going to break into this package. Is this going to be, I always end up with a lot of crumbs on me, no matter what even when I'm not eating. Okay, so here we go. Here, there's a pack of 6. I don't want to tip them over. So here, let me put this. Okay. So here we go, folks. This is what you're looking at, not my manicure or lack thereof. That is the official Glenfiddich 6 luxury mince pies. This is, I'm going to say 1 of 6. So now, do you usually heat it? I'm completely lost. This is a guy who grew up on an island and doesn't know how to eat stuff. So do you usually heat it? I will not wait for an answer. Let me scroll down. Does it say they are all the same flavor or variety? I think it's all the same flavor. Here, let me just put this. It had me at buttery. Okay, so here we go. Delicious. Sorry, let me hold this steady. Delicious, buttery, and rich aromatic fruit mince infused with 12-year-old Glenfiddich single malt Scotch whiskey distilled with care in the heart of Speyside. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I saw that, Donnell. Don't heat it. Oh. I'm chewing, everybody. So I'm going to try and save you the chewing and just show you the inside. I could be a hand mince pie model. So it looks a little, yes, Karen, it looks a little like a Fig Newton, but here we go. Okay, so that is, I'm trying to describe the flavor. It's very tasty. It's more aromatic. They are not kidding. That is more aromatic than I ever would have expected. It's got a lot of fruit flavors. It's very unique flavor. So I've never tasted this flavor before. But it tastes citrus. I'm getting the citrus, notes of citrus, dried fruits. Yeah, I want to eat another bite. Sorry, everybody. Hold on. Oh boy. I don't think I can hold this up. That's mince that has been devoured and inappropriately chewed on camera. Okay, I have to put it down because it's going to collapse into the tray. That's really good. I would call that exceptionally good. I'm going to give this like an 8.7 rating. 8.7. Wow. So tasty. The thinking you're seeing, not just chewing, I'm trying to pinpoint the flavor. It's very unique, very fresh. So the stale fruit cake, like the bad, like, oh no, do I have to have this? This is not even close. This is really, really good. Wow. Super, super fruity and delicious. Okay. Where can we get this, Donnell? I may need a case of this. All right. Let me scroll. Let me go back to our questions before I say goodbye. What is the brand? The brand just is Glenfiddich. So somebody made this. Here, I'll post a picture of it. Ready? Here's the danger of nutrition. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want to see who made it. Heating guidelines. Okay. Let me see. Who is this? Is there anything on here who made it? So, okay. So the Walker family might be making it. Walker mince pies. Sorry, folks. Let me pull up this other. I'll post a picture. Don't worry. I'll post a picture. Oh, it is Walker. I missed that. Sorry, everybody who's like, oh my gosh, Tom, how do you not see it? Here it is. There you go. So they teamed up with Walker's. There we go. Product of Scotland. Walker's. Okay, so the most famous. Sorry. I just started beginning. I do wonder, was the finale based on true events where they were unable to wake up Raymond? Yes. So sorry. No. That was. I'm reading Donnell's thing. You can get it on Amazon. You can get the Glenfiddich Walker's special, super special. God, I want to finish this other side. Is that rude of me? Hold on. So I want to see if the flavor was a fluke, but again, you can't go in expecting chocolate. You're in expecting a mince. You're expecting a fruity deliciousness. The final episode was Phil Rosenthal's idea to have it. It's the last episode, so we could kill off the main character. So that was Phil's idea, even though we all are on it, writing it, and everybody participated in writing it. I think he had that idea in like season 7 or something like that. It was not based on Raymond in real life not waking up. And Raymond is a little bit of a, let's say, a hypochondriac, so he would worry about surgery that way, etc. But it was a way of going, okay, the question earlier from Thunder Bay about emotions, that one would be a real emotion. If you did that season 4, if you did that episode season 4 in the middle of the season, people would go, of course he's waking up. It's Emerald Raymond and we're in season 4. They're not going to kill the main character. But in the final episode, you could say goodbye to Raymond and the audience would be shocked if we kill the main character. But yes, that was how the story came about, not based on real life. Wow, very good. Very good. Really good. Okay. Now, I've ate 2 of them in front. Okay, I'm not going to eat 2. I'm nothing but self-control. The moment the camera turns off, I will probably eat 6 of them. Okay. Let me see this. Yes, Deb. My husband's stepdad would pour brandy over the top of mincemeat pies and light it, and it would serve as the flaming mincemeat pie until one time he almost caught the curtains on fire. Yes, that is a good idea. So I guess you can, I'm believing you, Donnell, that you don't heat it, and I guess you can heat it if you have a crazy stepdad who is willing to put the house on fire. Very good. Oh, that's very good. Okay, final questions. Let's go over to Instagram, see if we missed any. Let me see how far back I can move from the I apologize, everybody, for the close shot on Instagram. I mean, it's crazy. It's like insane. Yes. Hi, Louise. Okay, Louise Pinkovich. That's an excellent name. You can eat 6. It's fruit-based. Okay, I will tell my doctor that you said that. Let me see this. I believe it. Yeah, you like it. I taste test mince pies from bakeries in Sydney. Why? How do you have that job? As well as supermarket pies. There are different levels of goodness. Louise, why? Is that your official job, or are you just saying, so if I said, I'm an official taster of cookies all over the world, and they go, well, who pays you to do that? Well, I like to eat cookies. Okay, yes, World Market is a place in the United States. The cake could be slightly warmed. Yeah, I don't have a toaster oven next to my studio setup here. The whiskey makes it aromatic. Something is good. Something is very good in there. Let me see. Scrolling up. Yes, delicious. The consensus is no heating necessary. Tom, thank you for doing ELR Live. It's so interesting to learn about all the episodes. You are quite welcome, Patangston. So is your name Patangston? Or there's a lot of interpretation there. I don't know why they weren't dying laughing in Allie's birth episode. The part in the backseat where Robert's going to deliver the baby is hilarious. Yeah, well, there is a lot of laughter, but again, they're focused on not slowing down the production. Yes, but the fans should ask questions. Okay, I'm really scrolling up. ELR was Robin. I love watching it. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Have a great week. Hope to see you next Sunday. You absolutely will. Let me see this. Scrolling through this. Doing this. Just watch it. Yes. Okay, great. And now final questions on Facebook. Thanks, T. Bob. Here we go. I'm going to bring you up as one of our fan favorites. Everyone have a safe New Year's Eve, a.k.a. Amateur's Night. Don't forget to laugh. Yes. Happy New Year, everybody. Yes. Deb Tucker. Yes, it was nice to see Mr. Clown enjoying winter on Instagram. That's my children's educational nonprofit free classroom visits by Zoom, which Kim Brazier did and a few other people who watch me every week have done, visiting their first grade, kindergarten, pre-K Zooms around the country, etc. So yes, he was out enjoying the winter. Donnell, there are other places, here we go, like VermontStore.com, the specialty place if you Google them, but you'll pay a lot for shipping. Yeah, that is, Annabelle, we'll hear about why you don't use Amazon another time. But yes, Donnell, you can always find everything. It's a matter of how much is shipping, etc., etc., etc. Let me see. Should I make this? Hi, Peter. Thank you for all the memories, Tom, that you give all the fans of Everest Raymond. It was a beautiful show in the 90s and how I missed all those characters. now, like, well, not characters, but Doris and yes, everybody else, the in-laws. Sorry, I'm summarizing, but it's great, great, wonderful comedy that I've watched the rest of my life, and I laugh. Yes, sorry for speeding through. Yes. I watched this episode on repeat almost 24/7, but not the last episode. Can't do it. Yeah, that I understand. That I very much understand. All right, everybody. See you next week. Have a safe, a very safe New Year's. Don't forget to be nice to everybody. Enjoy your all your deadlines. Make sure that you have a little A in your something. Drinking tea, don't worry, people, not whiskey. Thank you again, Donnell, for sending the delicious. Where did they go? Where did the box go? The box went down here. Again, super tasty. I got $0 promotional dollars for saying how good those are, but those are very, very good. All right. Have a good New Year's, everybody. Keep your comments coming. I'm going to post a lot of Christmas photos coming up, the Doris Greed Party, etc. Keep your questions at the ready. I hope if CBS is going to rerun the part 2, let me know, and I'll let you know, etc. Hope that you guys can see it. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and, hopefully there'll be a part 3 someday. All right. Have a good New Year, everybody.